Okay, so for professional chess players, the title of world champion is the ultimate goal. They study and they train their entire lives to try and achieve it. When you do, you know that even 100, 200 years down the line, your name will still be remembered. You know, it's like achieving a small piece of immortality. The thing is, at that level, everyone is so good that the margin between victory and defeat can be very small. It often comes down to very little things like nerves, form, and quite a bit of luck. So the unluckiest position to finish in the second place, you know, coming so close and yet still being so far from achieving your dreams. And so in today's video, we are going to consider one of the most incredible runs in World Championship history, in which one player finished second place not just once or twice, but an insane 4 times in just an 18-month stretch. Is Grandmaster Ian Nepomniachtchi a choker? Was he just the unluckiest chess player ever? Welcome to Akilov. Ian is a 32-year-old Russian grandmaster who has long established himself as one of the finest players in the world. His insane run of World Championship disappointments began in November 2021 in Dubai, where he challenged world number 1 Magnus Carlsen for the Classical World Championship title. The 14-game match was level after 5 games. Nepo was actually playing quite well. He was considered the underdog coming up against Magnus. But up to that point, he hadn't shown any weakness that Magnus could exploit. That was until game 6. In what will later go down as the longest game in World Championship history, Magnus ground Nepo down in a long end game and he overcame his defenses. Magnus struck the first blow, and unfortunately Nepo couldn't quite recover after that. The following game saw him perform shockingly below his normal level. He lost 3 of the next 5 games and the match was over. After just 11 of the 14 games, he had lost 7.5 to 3.5. This was his first shot at the World Champion title. His loss was probably the easiest for him to take. For one thing, he was coming up against Magnus, who is generally considered to be the best chess player in history. And so victory was always going to be a difficult ask. But the same cannot be said for his next 3 finals. The very next month, in December 2021, the World Rapid Championships were played in Warsaw, Poland. After 13 rounds of rapid chess, Nepo had played consistently very well and finished right at the top of the leaderboard. The only problem was he was not alone, and he was tied in first place with a young talent from Uzbekistan, Nodirbek Abdusattorov. Okay, quick disclaimer, there is no way I'm pronouncing Nodirbek's name more than twice without absolutely butchering it, and so I'm just not going to do that. We're just going to call him Nodi from now on. Thank you. Now, Nodi had a phenomenal event, beating world champion Magnus Carlsen and world number 4 Fabiano Caruana in his run to first place. The title of World Rapid Champion will now be decided in Blitz Chess, where they will play 2 games of 3-minute games amongst themselves to decide the winner. Although Nodi had such a great event, Nepo was still considered favourite. He is the more experienced player of the 2, and he's well known for being a very speedy player. This was the closest he had ever been to a World Champion title. Nepo played the first game with the white pieces, and although he had a sizable advantage at a point, he failed to finish the game off. Nodi defended well, and he earned a draw. And the second game, Nepo had the black pieces, and Nodi also managed to build a significant advantage out of the opening. He was looking to convert the advantage in the middle game, but Nepo was holding on and defending very well. A very complicated position. Nodi also went astray. Nepo had secured a drawn position as Nodi's king had become exposed to checks. If Nepo managed to draw, then they would go on and play 2 more blitz games to decide the winner. So on move 51, Nepo played the wrong move, and all of a sudden, he was completely lost again. This time, the young Uzbek did not put a foot wrong. He quickly finished Nepo's pieces off and secured his name in history as the youngest World Rapid Champion ever. For Nepo, it was a disappointing result in another silver medal, but his year of misfortune was still not over. Next, we moved to Reykjavik, Iceland in October 2022 for the Fischer Random World Championship. Fischer Random is a variant of chess in which the starting positions of the pieces are randomized, leading to fresh positions and requiring more intuitive understanding of the game to play well. It was an 8-player tournament with the likes of world champion Magnus Carlsen, world rapid champion Nodirbek Abdusattorov, and American Grandmasters Hikaru, Nakamura, and Wesley So all playing. Once again, Nepo showed good form and he advanced to the final, even defeating Magnus Carlsen along the way. Having defeated the best player in the world, he definitely had good chances to go all the way when he came up in the final against Hikaru Nakamura. The 4-game match did not start well for Nepo. He lost game 1, he was completely outplayed by Nakamura, but he still had 3 games to strike back. So he steadied the ship in game 2, and by game 3, he was ready. He played an excellent attacking game and he leveled the scores with 1 more game to go in the match. 4th game turned out to be an anticlimactic draw after just 15 moves. meaning the tied match will now go on to Armageddon tiebreak. Now in Armageddon, one player is given less time than the opponent, but then gets draw odds. And after bidding, Nepo was to play with the black pieces with 13 minutes against Nakamura's 15 as white. But if Nepo managed to draw the game, he wins the tournament. The game started out quite well for Nepo, and it looked like he had Nakamura's pieces under control. But the tricky Nakamura managed to muddy the waters, and he outplayed Nepo in a complicated middle game. He won after 48 moves with an unstoppable checkmate on the board. Unfortunately, Nepo had missed out once again, and he had to watch on as yet another player was crowned world champion ahead of him. Finally, in April 2023, Nepo qualified for the Classical World Championship once again. And this time, he faced the Chinese Grandmaster Liren, since Magnus Carlsen decided not to defend his title. In a 14-game match, he took the lead 3 times, but every single time, Ding showed impressive resilience and managed to come back. Nepo couldn't finish Ding off in 14 games, and so the classical match also went to rapid tiebreaks, where they would play 4 games to decide it all. In the first 3 games, Nepo had a better position every single time, and yet, once again, he did not manage to put any of the games away, and they all ended in draws. It came down to the last game of rapid chess. In a level endgame and with very little time left on his clock, Nepo blundered. He went astray, and very soon he was just completely lost. You could really see the despair in his face when he realized that there was just no way back for him, and he was forced to resign after 68 moves. He had been ahead the entire match, and yet once again, in the critical moments, he was found wanting. So, is he just a professional bottler? Very unlucky. It's very difficult to say, but it's probably a combination of both. It has long been suggested that he has difficulty in tournaments when he faces adversity, so it's difficult for him to bounce back, and he tends to tilt when he loses. But he also showed great mental fortitude in bouncing back from the crushing defeat to Magnus in the first classical match to win the candidates tournament again the following year, qualifying for the second match. Remember that as incredible as it is that he's lost 4 finals in less than 2 years, it's also equally unprecedented that he was playing for 4 World Championship titles in that short a time. He realized that no one else was in the running for even 2 of the 4, and yet every one of those finals, Jan was there, regardless of time control or format. For him, it won't be much consolation, but he will definitely be back on the big stage, playing for the biggest prize. And maybe, one day, we will be crowning a world champion, Ian Nepomniachtchi. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe.